We are catching up with none other than Kitty Powers here at GDC, and I feel like I'm gonna get my love life dissected and analyzed and perhaps boosted right now.
Well, if you pay attention, you might learn something, darling.
Every client deserves their happy ending, and it's your job to give them one.
So, obviously Kitty Powers Matchmaker, a worldwide success. It's helped countless couples all over the world. What's the next evolution? What's the next step?
So with Matchmaker, we were designing something from scratch, and we really wanted to do something which was light on the surface and easy to be accessible for people, like a game show. We designed it to be a bit like a game show because everyone loves game shows, and because of that it became very popular on YouTube, and which has made the game successful. So the game is, we've decided to take the game and evolve it to the next level of, the next stage of relationships. So Matchmaker was all about matchmaking people into couples and having them go off and be happy. In this one, you start with the couples and you move them into little houses, and then where you place them in the little map will affect how the procedural system behaves. So basically it's not really like The Sims, because in The Sims you have to micromanage what these people do every day. In Love Life they will get on with their lives without you having to interfere at all, but problems will crop up depending on what type of people they are, who they're matched with, what facilities are near their houses, what their neighbours are like. You can sit and watch it all go down the toilet, or you can get involved, invite people in for therapy, and you play the therapist and landlord, so you charge them rent to live in your little love town, and you provide the service of nurturing their relationships so that they level up their relationships, and also they will make friends with the other couples in the village. So the individuals, as they go about their daily lives, will bump into other people in the town, form relationships, or even become enemies, and that will again spawn different situations which you'll have to deal with.
And can you possibly set up triangle dramas and sort of have people go off with the neighbor? And
well, the great thing about it being procedural and the way that we've designed it around people's personalities and relationships is that any number of different combinations can happen. So it may well be that there's a love triangle might form, or there might be an affair that kicks off, or there might be other stupid stuff that is completely unrelated, like Kitty Powers comes to town to do a spot check on your couples to see if they're all happy or something.
Hello, Kitty. I'm back.
one of the things I loved about Matchmaker was the fact that the writing was very humorous and fun, and I can just imagine that for this kind of game, there's a lot more writing that goes into it. Is that true?
That is true. Most of the dialogue was written by my brother Alan, actually, and he's working on Love Life, and we've developed a much more elaborate system for creating, especially the social feed. In the game, each character writes their activities and how they feel about them into what we call the kitty feed, which is like a social network, and the characters can comment on each other's posts as well, and those posts are put together procedurally from different fragments to form whole sentences. So you might have Deirdre moaning about Roger's hairdo, but because she saw him at the park doing lunges, which she doesn't really like, but she thought the park was lovely. So all those different feelings will combine into an overall effect on her mood from that encounter, and those things are recorded in the social feed. But Alan's a very funny writer, so he incorporates the way that he writes, the way that they speak, makes it kind of funny, because a lot of things they say are very mundane, but we kind of play up the mundaneness to make it seem like a really rubbishy soap opera kind of thing.
Because I mean, this is the kind of game that you're going to spend hours and hours and hours playing, so you don't want to have it sort of feel repetitive in any way.
No, exactly. So we've still got all the different voice types that we had in Matchmaker, but because of the way that we're structuring the social feed, there will be an infinite amounts of variety, and we're also going to write lots of parody updates, like silly things up where people write about what they dreamt about last night, or whether when they post about a pic of what they had for dinner, they'll actually put a picture of what they had, because that's what everyone does on Facebook. So we're trying to parody social media, but at the same time create a functional feed that will actually help you analyse your clients to figure out what's making them depressed.
Sounds scary, doesn't it? But don't despair, kittens, because Kitty Powers, will be there for you every step of the way.
Nice feature that I saw is the ability to import your couples from the previous games. How's that gonna work?
Well, what we'll probably try to do, because we haven't even tried to implement that yet, but I have told my team that that's what I want to happen. So what we'll probably end up doing is when you get to the last screen in Matchmaker, where you get your results, we'll give you the option to export that couple if you've matched them, maybe on the jacuzzi scene if you know the game. Maybe we'll let you press a button there and maybe generate a QR code, or maybe a alphanumeric code that you can type in to Love Life. Now, the system we use to generate the characters in Love Life is slightly different from the one in Matchmaker. It has all the stuff Matchmaker has in it, but we've actually added a little bit of depth to the characters. So what we'll probably do is when you pull your character in from Matchmaker, you may find there are some subtle changes to the characters, but for the most part they'll be identical. And then once they're in Love Life, you can expand and evolve them even more, change their outfits, and have all sorts of adventures happen to them. Because what was really important to us was that we wanted the player to feel more of a connection to these characters, which is why Love Life is about relationships in the long term, so that you actually spend longer with these procedural characters and you form an emotional connection with them.
Speaking of that, I know you're showing off this game pretty early on. Where are you at in development, and sort of how's it? Where do you want to take it, and why are you showing it off this early?
Well, actually, we've been working on it for about 4 or 5 months. Now, obviously, having Matchmaker provide some of the systems has given us a bit of a head start. So what we've got has kind of proven that what we want to do will work. Obviously, needs a lot of balancing. There's an awful lot of content that needs to go in. But we wanted to reveal it early so that, because we know Matchmaker is very popular on YouTube, we really wanted to try to show the development of the game to the YouTube community, because we care about them as much as we care about our players, because we're still entertaining them, whether they're watching somebody else play the game or playing it themselves. So, and we really love our community, so we really wanted to try and create more content for them on YouTube so they can see even more of what goes into making the game, because there's a lot of complex systems in the game, even though it comes across quite stupid.
Okay, I don't think this interview would be complete without commenting on your beautiful outfit. Very fitting for GDC here.
This old thing, I just threw this together this morning. Actually, no, I found this T-shirt in Melbourne in Australia, and I thought I have to do something with that. So I went into the Nintendo shop in Sydney and bought this mushroom and decided to make a Nintendo outfit, especially for GDC. Do you like it?
It's lovely.
Well, and I got the leggings at EGX as well, so that's more video game Easter eggs for you.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, darling.
Have you missed me?